What red flags should I look for in a man? One of the biggest red flags in a man, leaving hard eye comments on girls' Instagrams. I'm sorry? Absolutely not. It is a red flag if a man is always complaining that his ex was the problem. 9 times out of 10, he was the problem. If a man is comparing you constantly to his ex, positive or negative, if he says, oh, my ex always did that, I can't believe you're doing that. My ex never did that. Why are you doing that? It is a red flag if a man is constantly making misogynistic jokes, because that's how he actually feels about it.
Most truths are said in jest. You believe some of it.
If a man is hiding his phone password from you, that is a red flag. Do not let him tell you that he needs his privacy and everyone deserves their privacy. That's not about privacy. That's about secrecy. It is a red flag if a guy is always telling you that you're jealous and insecure. If you genuinely know that he is just doing things to make you feel that way, major red flag. Huge sign of a gaslighter. They like to use words that have a negative connotation to make you feel like you're probably wrong. Because technically, yes, he can say that. You're having feelings of jealousy for legitimate reasons.
Here are the 4 red flags in men I wish I'd learned sooner. 1. The love bomber. This Chad will call, text, send flowers, carrier pigeons, and shower you with all his love and adoration from an inappropriately early stage of the relationship. You might think you found the one, but congratulations, you found instability, because this Chad will leave you as soon as he realizes you don't poop rainbows. 2. The dependent. This Chad can't function without you because you are the sole reason he is sober, employed, and or breathing at all. And he will make sure you know that you leaving means he will not be sober, employed, and or breathing anymore. Please remember you are a woman, not a rehab facility, and that you shouldn't stay with a man just because you feel too guilty to leave. 3. The soul searcher. You may feel like you connect deeply with this Chad after 5 drinks and a questionable brownie after midnight, but it's not that deep. You're just blasted. This Chad is constantly looking for himself, and his inability to commit to a location, a job, or even a way of life means he will be completely incapable of committing to you. Because his definition of finding himself means chasing the next high, which usually means chasing the next woman. 4. The control freak. This Chad is fun at first because he plans and pays for everything without you having to think. But that's also because he doesn't want you to think, because God forbid you have an opinion that differs from his. You slowly start to realize that he doesn't spend his time or money on you out of a generosity of spirit. It's out of a need to control you. You don't need to go out and buy yourself that skanky crop top because Chad just went out and bought you 3 floral print dresses inspired by his grandma's closet. Biddies, if you've been a victim of any of the above 4 walking red flags, call 1-800-FUCK-CHAD and ask for your sanity back. Just remember at the end of the day that being alone is a small price to pay for being at peace.
Here's a dark red flag in men that I see that is not talked about enough. When men are emotionally immature and unstable, here's how they will act. So let's say you're having a conversation with a man and you are criticizing something that he does that you don't really like and that makes you feel a certain type of way. And you're doing this in a very calm and stable way, how you're expressing yourself, your feelings, and how what he does is making you feel. When this man is emotionally immature and unstable, he will respond with something that is wrong about you. He will completely deflect everything that you just said, and he will just tell you something that is wrong about you, something that you're doing wrong, something that is that has nothing to do with what you said. He will not acknowledge anything you said. He will not acknowledge your feelings. He will not even talk about your feelings. He will just be like, oh, but you're doing this, this, and this, and this, and this, blah, blah, blah. And if he's really emotionally immature and unstable, he will also take something away from you, whether that's time together or something that he does for you, whatever it is. Like, he will take something away, like to punish you and to control you, because things are only going the way he wants them to go. You can literally imagine this man as a little boy standing in front of you being like, oh no, but it wasn't me, or oh no, but you did this and this and this, like the angry little boy that is trying to rebel against his mom or his teacher or whatever. Like, he's still a little boy, and you can feel and see that in his actions. Now let's talk about men who are green flag, who are emotionally mature and who are emotionally stable. Men who are emotionally mature and stable, they will not deflect anything. They will actually reflect on what you have said, on how you feel, and either they will say, hey, I can totally see your point is valid, I'm sorry. Or they will say, hey, you know what, I can see why you feel this way and I can understand why you must have thought this way. However, this wasn't my intention. My intention was XYZ. And I thought, you would feel this way, or whatever it is. Like, they will acknowledge your feelings. They will acknowledge what you've said. They will not just deflect and tell you something that's bad about you. They would never punish you by taking something away from you. They would not do none of that crap. They will actually sit and reflect and tell you how they feel about it as well. Also, emotionally mature men will never raise their voice or talk down onto you.
Let's talk about some red flags in men when dating. Basically, if you see these things, run. If he ever says busy in a sentence when explaining why he couldn't text you, when I hear the word busy, I mentally check out of the entire situation, because no matter how busy somebody is in their daily life, they will make time for whoever is important to them. Everyone acts in line with their priorities. There is somebody else out there that does not have to text him first. So if he ever uses the word busy when trying to explain to you why he didn't text you or why he took so long to reply, run. The next red flag is if you don't like his friend group. If his friend group consists of men that are all losers and bums that cheat on their girlfriends and aren't loyal, I have news for you. He's just like them when you're not around. The people that you surround yourself with are a direct reflection of who you are. So if his friend group consists of terrible guys, he is also terrible behind closed doors. The next one is if he starts saying extremely serious and lovey things right away a couple weeks into talking. For example, if he hits you with, oh my gosh, imagine if we lived together, or even if he starts to say, I miss you, run. Love bombing is something you have to be very cautious of, because a lot of times we don't even know that it's happening when it's happening, and then you realize later and it actually really messes you up mentally. Can you tell that I've been there? So if he starts saying abnormally serious, lovey things within the first couple weeks of talking, you have to get out of there, because if you entertain that, you're going to get emotionally invested and it's going to mess you up really badly later down the line. The next one, and arguably one of the most important ones to look out for that I feel like people don't talk about enough, is if he can't compliment you. The reason that he can't compliment you is because he's secretly jealous of you. As crazy as that sounds, some men that are so narcissistic and full of themselves and egotistical cannot handle the fact that another person is also attractive or cool or smart or better than them maybe. So if he can't compliment you, that means he's secretly jealous of you. I don't know what it is with men in their princess era right now, but there's no reason that a man that is talking to you and supposedly likes you cannot compliment you. Men should be worshiping the ground that women walk on. That's the way I was raised. A compliment, honestly, is the bare minimum, so. The last one is if a man calls his ex crazy. I feel like this is already talked about enough. Everyone at this point has realized that is BS, and there's always more to the story. If a guy calls his ex crazy, that's pretty much like your dead giveaway that he is a terrible guy, because he did something to make her crazy. What did you do to make her that way? He made her crazy. She's not just crazy. People aren't usually just crazy. Some people are, but most people and most girls are pretty sane. No girl is just crazy. He did something. Don't buy into that and don't pity him that he dealt with such a crazy and terrible ex, because there's always two sides to the story. I hope this video helped. Please don't fall into men's silly little traps. Outsmart them before they get the chance, and follow me for more videos like this one. Love you.
Okay, so if he says this to you, run. Early stages edition. So this all applies to anyone you're in the talking stage with, someone you are, you seriously like, but it's just really early days. If you see these signs, run. If he says, I miss you, you've just met, you've just started talking. Maybe you haven't even had your first date yet. What does he miss? You just swapped numbers recently. And he's like, oh, I miss you so much. If you find yourself thinking to yourself, okay, that's interesting that he already misses me, please don't be silly. Don't get flattered. It's a love bombing technique. To miss someone, that means that you are used to their presence and they are not around anymore. Missing someone, you can't miss someone that you've just met. And even if it's not a technique, it's somewhat clingy. If he's not trying to come across clingy in the early stages, he is trying to love bomb you. He is trying to flatter you in very cheap ways, and you're not cheap. Someone using the tactic of saying they miss you when you've literally just met, it's just such a fuckboy red flag. You do not want a fuckboy. Run. Pet names. He's calling you my baby, my love. And remember, we're talking about early stages here. You've just met this person and already they're dropping baby in your messages. It's their way of claiming you already when he probably has many babies in his phone. Use your own initiative here, because obviously it's case by case. If a guy you've just met is calling you a certain pet name and it just feels a bit odd to you, it just feels a bit premature that he would start giving you pet names. You don't feel like you're to be claimed, if you know what I mean, just yet. Run. Lastly, if you get this text message, you up, you awake, run. Remember, please, I'm sorry, just could you keep in mind, this is not your boyfriend. This is someone you've just met. I know I keep repeating myself, just if you get, are you awake message and you have not heard from him all day, just know you are not the only woman in his phone, unless you're okay with that. Just another fuckboy sign. Not only are you not the only woman in his phone, but you're not the first choice. You may not even be the second choice. The one he really wanted to speak to, I don't know, she fell asleep or she's not answering right now, so you're the fallback. And the worst thing is, if this person does pick up the phone eventually, if she does wake up, or, whatever this first choice is doing, as soon as she does this, he's going to leave you on red. If you get that message and you have not heard from him in a long time, run.
If a guy says any of these things, you need to turn and run. If a guy ever tells you he's an asshole, believe it. If a guy ever starts talking about women in a derogatory way at all, and specifically saying women are gold diggers, the women he's dated or known have been gold diggers, turn and run. Hang on, a couple more. If a guy ever starts bragging about how hot his ex was, or she was a model, or he's doing anything like this, turn and run. And last but not least, if a guy ever says that his life is in transition, he is in transition, he's in the middle of relocating, he's in the middle of starting his life over, no go, okay? He needs to figure out his life. You never want to date anybody who's in transition, their life's in transition. Huge red flag, all right? So, I hope it helps.
How to know if a guy is wasting your time. So I think the important thing to flag here is that men's agenda is usually sex. For a lot of men, when you first meet them, you are not the prize. You are the race to get to the prize. The prize being your bucks. So what they do is they figure out how to run the race. Remember, you're the race to get to the finish line where they will get their prize, the box. So this is why I say do not sleep with men early. Make them run the race, because while they're running the race, you have the chance of them falling in love with you, getting to know your personality. And the quicker you give them the prize, the less time they have to invest in doing this. Most men are not going to fall in love with you after the fact. Please let them stop lying to you. Because for most men, the only thing better than sex with one woman is sex with a new woman. And what you have to do with men is you have to slow them down. Now, if you watch my other videos, you know that I say that men will do almost anything to get the bucks. So here are signs to look out for to know that they are just focusing on the boo-ha-ha. New slang, feel free to borrow it. 1, he doesn't call you every day. I don't know how you lot are getting to know these men through text, but it ain't working. Texting is such an impersonal way to get to know someone at any kind of deep level. Conversations and getting to know somebody has so much to do with tone, nuances, reactions. You cannot get any of that over text. You cannot even be certain that the words you are reading are that man's own over text. You are rarely going to have any kind of deep conversation with a man over text. And contrary to popular belief, you need to have deep conversations with men in order for them to be able to fall in love with you. Well, one of the ways they fall in love with you. Because, and quick segue, a lot of men do not have a place where they can be emotionally open and intelligent. Most of their communications with people do not operate on that level. With their friends, it's more jokey or business. With their family, it's more serious. They probably don't want to dump on their family. You know, a female is a place where a man can really be his whole self. So, for example, a lot of men have been, unfortunately, SA'd when they were younger. I am convinced that the first person that a man tells that he's been SA'd is a girl that he's talking to in that way, because that is the first safe environment he has to have that conversation. And the thing is, once a man is able to be his whole self around you and see you as his safe place, then you start going into the territory of building a connection, which is what you need for a relationship. So if you want that man to take you seriously and you want to have an option to build something real with that man, he needs to be calling you every day. If he is not willing to do that, then it's not for you to say, oh, a man's not going to do that. It's for you to go and find the man who will. Because there are a lot of women who are getting to know men and that man is calling them every day. They do not have two heads. The next way to know if a man is wasting your time is to measure his consistency. So many times I hear women say, oh, he said he was going to do this, or he was supposed to do this, but he didn't. What do you mean he didn't? Why? What happened? And I will find that so many women don't address this. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying approach that man like a raging hippo, because women, we get angry, so we have to moderate. However, just as I am talking to you, you can have a nice and polite and direct conversation, and you can say, blah, blah, whatever his name is, I don't really like that you say you're going to do this and you don't do it. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. He will then have an opportunity to explain himself. That is then your part to say after you've listened to his explanation, okay, fine, fair. However, I don't like this and I don't really feel comfortable speaking to people who do this regularly. So I understand it happened on that occasion, but it's just not something I am comfortable with. If that man does it again, you know that he is wasting your time because he's either hard of hearing or he doesn't care about what the repercussions are going to be. Or even worse, he's not expecting any repercussions. Baby, shame is free. Let's all have shame, myself included. Point number 3 on how to know a man is not taking you seriously. So that man has metaphorically taken you off the market, as in you can't speak to anyone else because it would be a problem. However, you do not have the benefit of being his girlfriend. There is always a hoo-hoo ha-ha about why he can't be in a relationship, why he's not ready for a relationship, even though what you are doing is a relationship. And then when you're in any position, this is the real key thing to note now, where you're trying to hold him accountable, if his response is, but we're not together, baby, it's a burgundy flag. It's a burgundy flag. Reason number 4, that man does not respect your boundaries. You should be able to tell a man that you are not ready to sleep with him and not feel anxious or scared or fearful in any way. Sex is not food. Men can live without it. They just don't want to. So what they will do is they will present like it is a need that has to be filled, and if it's not filled, they have the right to go anywhere else and get it. Quick pause for the motherfucking audacity, because ladies, please stop entertaining these men with no sexual discipline. They will ruin your life. They will cheat on you sacrilegiously. I don't even know what that means, but it needed to go there. They will disrespect you like they're giving out disrespect for free. Never, ever deal with a man who thinks that sex from you is an entitlement. Except if he's your husband. Or your man, and you're doing it like that. And even then, they're not entitled. You should give it if you're able, because it's a mutual relationship that you want, everybody needs to be happy, but nobody is entitled to your body. And what is true that men don't want you to know is that if they like you, they will wait. Men, you will wait. Stop lying. You lot will wait. If you find a girl that you want, you will wait. Men will try to convince you that they will meet someone that they like, that they find attractive, that they respect, that they find whatever they see as positive qualities. They want you to believe that they will meet someone with all of these positive qualities as much as they drag women and say women ain't shit. And then they will leave her because she respects herself and is not ready to give her body away for cheap. Pull the other one, mate. A good man, oh, he's gonna wait, baby, because he knows a good thing when he sees it. Not to say that if you sleep with him, you're not a good thing, but you know my point. The men who will push you and pressure you and make you feel uncomfortable, oh, they just want to use you for your body. They are going to waste your time because they're going to get it and then they're going to leave. And then what they try to do is threaten that they're going to wait for the months and months and months to get it and then leave. So ladies, that is why I say be so strict on these men. Don't let nothing slide in terms of their consistency. They need to be calling you every day. If you're seeing each other, they need to be seeing you 3 to 4 times a week. Listen, a man who wants you, as long as there's no mitigating circumstances, he will get it done because also he enjoys your company as well. If your consistency requirements are consistently high over months, the jokers will fall off. Apart from, there are some few psychos, true psychos in the world that are just tapped and have time for tap behavior, but there's nothing I can do about that. That's God. So ladies, please, let's bear this in mind because we also can't keep blaming men. There is some accountability that we need to take in terms of what we let slide and what we accept because we want love, relationships, etc. If you want all of those things, you deserve all of those things. We just need to be a bit smarter about how we operate this dating game because men absolutely have the upper hand right now. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule, but for best results, assume it's not you.